I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate.
Boy, oh boy, do we have a special treat for you, the audience at home today. Mitch, can you tell the people listening and the people watching what they are about to experience on this episode?
Man, just so many good nuggets today. I found myself taking notes the entire podcast episode and selfishly asking questions to benefit my business. And so that's how you know it's a good episode and we have a good guest and just a lot of valuable information, whether you're in real estate, trying to grow a following for your business, personal accounts. Just an awesome episode, and you won't be disappointed by the information you get out of this. And you'll want to go back and listen again, I'm sure.
Very true. This will dive into kind of what personal branding is all about and how to make yourself big in whatever industry that you're in. So we hope you guys enjoy. Feel free to listen to the entire episode and leave us any comments if you've got any questions or concerns. Thanks for watching. Welcome everybody into another episode of Time to Get Shit Done. Again, I'm your host, Greg Porchi. I'm here with my colleague, co-host, Mitch Howard, and I swear to you, we have a very, very special guest today. You're going to want to tune in for the entire episode. You're going to want to put down what you're doing. If you're reading a book, that's not going to help you during this. We have DIYSQUID. You may have heard of her. She is on everyone on Instagram. She meets with the kids on the TikTok. She has Squid. You're going to have to tell. Can we call you Squid here today?
You can call me that. That is fine.
Is that good for you? Perfect.
Yep.
So if I'm doing my research properly, TikTok, you have quite the resume. 6.2 million TikTok likes on your videos. 333,000 followers. Just for reference, I live in Lincoln, Nebraska, and there's not 300,000 people here. So it's quite a bit of people. Obviously, that's going to expand out through the country, through the world. I mean, do you see yourself having, do you get like some demographic reports on those followers?
Yeah, they do show up. I don't look at them very often, honestly,
okay.
But I think the majority of it, probably like over 75% is the United States. But
United States. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So there's people doing it themselves all over the world. They are so intrigued by what you are doing. And for the people that don't know who DIYSQUID is, Sid the Squid, we're going to have her tell you a little bit about herself and what the heck she does, because honestly, I don't quite comprehend it yet. So Squid, how did you amass, or what are you doing in your life that you think helped amass these types of followers and likes across these social platforms?
I that's a great question.
Thank you.
I don't exactly know why people follow me. I like to renovate old houses. I like to do it myself with my husband, obviously. I learned a lot of it through my parents. And then as I grew into an adult, I realized that I kind of had a love for it as well. And so then we started buying houses and renovating them. The house I'm in right now is actually our 6th house that we've renovated. So yeah, we've been doing it for quite a while, learning as we go. And then I started documenting it on Instagram probably about 3.5 years ago, and just did it more as a hobby, kind of just here and there when I had time. And then I did not like my job very much. I was in sales and I just didn't really feel like I was very salesy. So I felt it difficult to do, I don't know, to sell anything. It was beer though. So as far as sales go, it was pretty good.
Something you can get behind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Easiest of the things to sell, I would say. And then we bought a house on a foreclosure auction, and that's when I kind of decided to quit my job and to do the renovations more full time, hoping that like the Instagram and the TikTok would follow. And I also found out that I was pregnant at that time too. So it was kind of a win-win. I didn't really want to do my job anymore, and then I could do full-time, more like the general contractor, be there when electricians and plumbers needed and then be pregnant, I guess, too.
Right. And we can't relate to that part. But I think we come from similar types of, and the audience that we're targeting, right, is those people that reach a point, maybe it's in their career where they're not running up the corporate ladder, where they don't enjoy what they're doing anymore, where they have a passion for doing it themselves, renovating homes, for video games, for content creation of something that's not in DIY. And that's kind of where, right, like Mitch and I got in our careers as well, just tired of doing the same old shit. Not behind, right, beer's a different faction altogether, because we will have an adult beverage or two. Mitch, probably a few more than me. But would you like to speak to that?
No, not really, but I did have some questions. First of all,
Okay.
It's a really impressive story.
Yeah.
So I don't think we should downplay that at all. So you've flipped 6 houses in 3.5 years by yourself?
Yeah, so like there was a few times that my parents would come help us because they've done it like my entire life. Not necessarily flipped, but renovated the houses that I lived in when I was little. And then after a few years we would move, and then they'd kind of do it again. And so when we kind of get in over our heads a little bit, they will come for a day or two and kind of get our ass in gear and kind of show us what we're supposed to be doing, and then we can continue on for a while. So yeah, 6 houses. I hate the word flipping because I feel like flipping has such like a bad like resume, or like there's
A negative
really
connotation.
bad flippers out there. So ours hasn't been like with the goal of like making money as the main goal. It's been more like the houses we've lived in, like one of them we lived in for 2 years, and we just like the housing market was really good. So we decided to sell it and then move to this foreclosure house, and we lived in that as well. We were planning to stay there for more than what we did. We only actually owned it for a year, and then we had to move because my husband was transferred, and then we had some rental properties that we had fixed up, and then we just had decided that we were going to try to have less in life. Like we didn't need all these properties and all this huge resume of all the houses we'd owned. We were just thinking maybe less stress, less bills, less worries. So then we decided to sell those as well. But yeah.
That's great. And so they've all been foreclosure houses as well?
No, just
the first
random.
one?
Yep, just
Okay.
Actually that was kind of the middle one. But
What made you want to target a foreclosure?
Honestly, like it was when the housing market in Omaha, well, just in the whole world, got really, really good. And our houses in our neighborhood were selling like crazy. And so I asked Max at the time, I said, would you be opposed to moving? I've kind of already touched every crevice of this house. And at this point, I'm just spending money to spend money, not putting any more equity in this house. And so we had looked on Zillow a little bit. And of course, as the housing market was, everything was kind of overpriced as well. Even though you're going to sell your house for more, you're also going to buy a house for more too. So I had seen this house on a foreclosure auction, and I like had no idea how that worked. So we kind of just ignored it. And then we were in the neighborhood actually in Council Bluffs looking at a different house. And I was like, let's just drive by this one. I don't know how that works. I don't know how we would buy it, but let's just drive by it anyway. So we drove by it, and I fell in love. It was like in a really old neighborhood, very nice. It was like pretty much the shit house on the end of the block. And I was like, can we figure out how to make this work? But for a foreclosure auction, you actually have to have cash. And that is very difficult to do. And we did not necessarily have that cash. So we actually had to get like a family member to loan us some money for temporary, and then we paid them back. But yeah, so it was not easy, but we just figured out how to make it work.
A
That had to
family
have been
member,
scary. Yeah.
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 I mean,
Yeah.
Because you have to buy in cash and then you can't see the inside of the house, right? So
No, you
you had no
can't.
clue what you were walking into.
But we kind of did. The neighbors that lived next door, they were kind of taking people into the house and were letting them look at it. The
There you
house
go.
was empty. So for some foreclosures, like you have to kick out the people who are currently living in it because they're just not paying for it. This one was a luckier situation to where the guy had already moved out like over a year ago. So it was vacant. So we were able to kind of sneak in and peek at it.
Nice. Yeah, it's a nice advantage to have, I suppose. Probably willing to dish out a little bit more money if you can visualize what's going on.
I think quite a bit of people had kind of snuck in and looked at it and had wanted to buy it. So, and then at the actual auction, it's mostly just like investors. There's not a lot of normal people who can just buy a house for cash, no matter what the price is. So it was pretty intimidating because they kind of like, they know what they're doing, and we had no idea. It was just me and my mom. So
Nice.
At the courthouse steps.
Just pretty much, but yeah.
Sheriff's auction.
Yeah.
It's a not, you put yourself in a great position though if you can have a family member, because I assume you get the family and friends interest rate, or maybe even a zero interest rate from that.
No,
whereas
there was interest actually.
There was, okay. Like
not because of them, but because of how we got the money. Yeah, we had to have interest on it.
Yeah, because you go out and get that private money from people and they're charging you 24%. I mean,
oh yeah,
puts you in a little bit better position, but
yes,
to bid a little bit more, I guess, to get what you want. But
yeah,
that's interesting. And I know that you said, right, that your parents were doing this growing up. It takes like and I've watched not all of them. I've watched a few of your videos, and it seems like you have cameras probably set up. Maybe you just have one camera, but obviously you would move it around rooms and you go through this time lapse. Some of the transformations that I've seen, in my head, right? And I say to people that I do real estate, in my head, I could never have imagined anything like that. Do you think that you got that sort of creativity like strictly from your parents? Were you in like interior design growing up, or like how do you come up with these designs? Is it Pinterest?
I would say that it is genetic for me. Like I know it can be learned, but my mom has been really good. She has a really good vision for like design and stuff like that. So I feel like I did get a lot of it from her. And then, yeah, I do look at Pinterest and here and there, and then you can kind of like, you have a design in your head and then you can kind of like curate it to what like is in now and stuff like that. Right. Trends and stuff. I mean, looking at Pinterest does help you know how to like, I'm not very good at the decorating part. So Pinterest or Instagram or all those other apps, those help me kind of figure out how to decorate it to make it look just a little bit better.
Yeah. I guess I wouldn't know anything about them, but I know that I think there's a lot of Pinterest. That what Pinterest is for. Are you posting on Pinterest too? Did I miss some of that in the intro?
No, I don't really know how Pinterest works very well as like a business person. I know how to like search a recipe or like house stuff. That is something I'm trying to get better at. Like I have a virtual assistant who kind of helps me do the things that I suck at. And Pinterest is one of those. So I don't necessarily, probably not going to learn it, but somebody else will. Right.
It's like a lot of things. Accounting confuses me. I'm going to hire an accountant.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of the time when you talk about opportunity cost, where's my time better spent? And for you, it seems like it's dancing in broken down rooms, hugging water heaters. I think we were just looking at before we started recording this. Some other things, I suppose, that maybe some of the people that are listening to this have seen and can relate with, or can't relate with, because I don't know if I've seen other people doing what you're doing as far as just dancing like a crazy lady. And I've seen it to where your husband's doing it too.
That's the idea, is that everyone can do DIY or renovate houses or do anything of that. I'm trying to be a little bit different in that aspect, be a little weirder maybe than Joanna Gaines or something.
Right. With a TV show making millions, who cares about that? So
no offense, Joanna Gaines, if you're listening.
Yeah.
I still love you.
Yeah, Jojo, just in case you're watching. And so I think, and it fits in perfectly to like the people that we want to find for this, because like us two, like Squid, we have minor history in the fact that we knew each other a few years ago. You were you weren't mine. You were the on-course beverage specialist at a local golf course here. And maybe that's where you started your sales pitch in, and then, you know, just lost a love for it later on.
That's where I found my love for beer. And then
so you could probably attest to I'm one of the weirder guys maybe that you've ever met. I don't know. I guess Max's friends or
yes,
Max himself.
absolutely. Oh, sorry.
Thank you. So we're trying to portray that you don't have to be this business suit guy or this Joanna game, which again, Joanna, bless your heart, you're doing great. But you don't have to fit this like status quo. Like anybody, seriously, anybody can do this, right? You put the time in, you're recording yourself 13 hours a day and then time-lapsing, cutting videos, showing before and after, and people seem to love it, right? And that gets kind of on a topic of personal branding and really kind of curious to when it finally hit you like, holy shit, I may have something here. Was there like an aha moment and I think you touched on it just slightly before, but when you hit that aha moment to where like I can just start taping myself all the time, pulling content out of this, which it's got to be a job in itself to find the right stuff, but or do you have anybody help you with that? But anywho, like at what point did you realize, damn, I think I've got something here and I'm never going to go to work again?
I guess like that moment when I realized like I could have a full-time job and make actual money on it was probably not that long ago. Probably like a year ago, I probably realized that it was like actual money making thing. Before that, I just thought like as a hobby, I kind of realized that when I honestly started being more of myself and like trying to be less like not show my mistakes, I started to show those, and then I started to put in my personality into my page, and I got like positive feedback from people from that. That's when I realized, oh, maybe I can be myself and do the things I love, and people will still like my page. And maybe I will be a little bit different, that people will like me for that reason. So that's when I realized that. And then, as I saw more and more creators in the DIY world, like I have multiple friends who are making really good money, and then you realize, wait, I can make money in this too and do what I love. That's like kind of when the aha moment hit me, and I was like, okay, that's when I really started to go hard on, because like before it was like you make money kind of from your flips, not necessarily from the Instagram or the TikTok and stuff like that. So it was like, that's when it crossed over to where I don't necessarily have to flip houses. I can do it to my own house and still make money through the apps.
Yeah.
If that answers your question.
It does. And it's, I don't know the right word it's inspirational. Maybe I would use here, because it's something that we ourselves are looking to emulate. I've mentioned we do a little bit of real estate, but it's like being able to show people like what you've done with properties, what you can do. You're doing them yourselves, right? These hands are made for writing checks, not necessarily doing literally anything else. So like figuring out like how to do that type of stuff. If you had like advice to somebody that was starting up or trying to personally brand themselves via Instagram, via short TikToks, like, are they like Vines? Are they like the 8-second videos?
No, it's pretty much
things?
what Instagram is trying to be.
Okay.
It just did at first. So it's like videos. They only have videos, and they're like, it's just reels pretty much. If you're familiar with Instagram, that's just scrolling on.
Yeah, minorly
videos.
but
they
can
can
be
be
generation.
They can be anywhere from 1 second to 5 minutes now. I think you can actually do 10-minute long ones now. So
on TikTok. Seems to be turning into a YouTube.
Trying to get on TikTok, they're really pushing the 3 to 5 minutes. So
you got to get on the TikTok.
Yep.
You got to get on the TikTok.
That.
Yeah.
So I guess what do you mean? Like advice for DIYers or advice for like people who want to be on like a Instagram?
Like for anybody trying to, because I would have to assume, because 130,000 Insta followers and 333,000 TikTok followers is a lot quantitatively, right? I would have to assume that you don't have like any meetup groups that are more than 333,000 people at a time. So that's where most of your influence is going. So what things do people need to be doing or need to be aware of? And right, I think yours just happened organically. Like, I don't want to, like, we don't want to say luck because you post a shit ton of content. Like you post a lot. So like, right, is it consistency? Is it always taping yourself? Like, are there things that you wake up every day and you're like, I need to be sure that I'm doing this and stay like disciplined to this particular routine for building content?
Yeah. I mean, I would say as far as content creators go, I'm pretty laid back in my schedule. I do it when it's mostly convenient for me, especially because I view my actual full-time job as being a stay-at-home mom for my daughter. But as far as my Instagram does go, I really try to be consistent. I try to post quality content, like anywhere from 1 to 5 times a week. Like I only do Monday through Friday for the most part. There are always exceptions. And then I try to have stories every day, Monday through Friday. Again, I take weekends off now that I got to over 100,000 followers on Instagram. Before that, I hustled my buns off. I tried to do it 7 days a week all the time. But now that I got to that point, I just try to take my weekends to enjoy it with my family. But yeah, consistency, it doesn't matter what that consistency is, something that you can truly stay true to. So like if that's posting once a week, if that's posting twice a week, whatever it is for you, 7 days a week, try to stay consistent with that. And then stories, and then quality. Like don't just post to post. Don't just post random crap just because you feel like you need content. I feel like that's when people like start to leave your page or like not pay attention to what you're posting, is when they feel like, man, I didn't really care for that post, so I'm probably not gonna, I scrolled faster past it, and then the algorithm notices didn't really like her that time, so maybe we'll show less of her that time. I mean,
yeah, no, I think that's spot on. But this is coming from someone who might have like 200 followers on Instagram. So, but have you ever heard of Mr. Beast, Jimmy Donaldson, YouTube creator?
No.
100 plus million, 110 million maybe subscribers on YouTube now. He was at a point where he was posting videos a couple times a week, and then started getting so disgusted in himself because he was posting more quantity over quality, and now has such high standards for the videos that he puts out. And these videos are getting 30, 40 million views in 24 hours. So I think you're spot on, right? But I'm not the expert. Jimmy Donaldson, Mr. Beast, is the expert. And you pretty much echoed exactly what he said. And a guy spending millions of dollars to create quality content on each of his videos is somebody probably that if you're trying to be a content creator, you're trying to brand yourself, like you should emulate your process off of. So it's kudos to you for like realizing that and honing in on like that's what's important versus just like posting up a piece or hey guys, what's good, like, and not bringing any value, because in sales, as you may know, and Mitch, you might know too, you have to bring value to the table or nobody gives a shit, right, about what you're talking about. So yeah, that's
this
huge.
His YouTube pages just have like $1 billion valuation or something, or he wouldn't sell them for like over 30 billion is what he said.
Massive. Yeah, billions of dollars.
So there's obviously monetization behind it. I was just looking at your YouTube Squid, and you have 20,000 subscribers there too.
Not yet. I'm getting close.
Yeah, that's good. You mentioned a virtual assistant, so I have a question more around the strategy of how you post things. Do you follow a strategy where you go to that long form content first and then take some clips toward Instagram and TikTok, and does a virtual assistant help you out with that, or what does your virtual assistant do?
So actually I just hired a virtual assistant just recently, just because I did feel like there are so many aspects of being an influencer that you can like dip your toes in, but you cannot do it all. Like you just physically cannot do everything. So there's a lot of like money just like on the table, or just people on the table that you just don't get to reach because you cannot go to all these different places. So for me, my virtual assistant will help me. I haven't got everything figured out, but like I do not enjoy blogging. I do not like enjoy sitting writing very much. Like I can bullshit a paper pretty quickly, but I just don't really enjoy it. So I would like a virtual assistant to like run my blog, have like a blog post at least once a month. Blogs are great for like longevity, like your TikTok and your reels or whatever, they only grow to a certain point and then they pretty much die off and you aren't going to make any more money on that TikTok for the rest of your life pretty much. Blogs and YouTube are great for, they can continually make you money throughout your entire lifetime without having to constantly keep up on it, besides making sure links are live and stuff like that. So that's why I would like to do my blog. And then there's an app called Like to Know It. I'm not sure if you're familiar, if you guys aren't women who like to shop. You probably
Write
have
that one
not heard
down.
of it.
Yep.
But it's pretty much affiliate marketing. You post links and pictures and stuff and people can shop through your links. That is something I also do not like doing, and I'm not like a huge shopper. So that's just difficult for me to keep up on. And they don't have to be stuff that you've bought. It can just be like, here's my gift guide, or here's all my favorite baskets, stuff like that I just don't really enjoy doing. And then my Pinterest are just things that I should be doing, but I just physically can't. So they do that stuff for me. I like to spend my time doing video content creation, and I actually do enjoy editing the videos too, which is why I just created a YouTube, because that has the longevity just like a blog does, but it's actually something that I enjoy doing. So that is the idea behind my virtual assistant. Now, have I figured out how it's all going to work? No, absolutely not. I have so many DMs and I personally love to respond to them, but I just physically can't. It takes me so long, especially because I actually try to reply besides just like thanks or whatever to every person. So that makes it a very long process. And I have so many unopened messages or like even requests to get in my inbox that I haven't even looked at. And so I need help with that as well.
And it's an interesting point you bring up, because I'm still a big video gamer. So I just want to connect this to the video game world and like streaming, the people who play video games, right? They get to this point of, let's just call it stardom, or they cross this threshold into where they would play video games with the people who are interacting with them in chat. They would respond to DMs. So kind of what I feel like you're explaining to me is there's just a threshold, and it's just literally time, right? Time is money, one, but time is like the only thing that you can never get back in life. So you want to spend it like however you want to spend it in this life, and that's for anybody. So as far as like owing people your time and messages coming in, and this is not the message I'm trying to portray here, but you feel like there's a threshold that you reach this influencer stardom, let's call it, to where you will respond to all the DMs. Do you ever consider, right, you'll have a virtual assistant, maybe it won't be as personable or whatever it may be, or they just filter the messages that then end up getting to you, or however it ends up working. You get to this point where, is it okay, I'll still respond to some people if they're a specific celebrity or follower count or certain business, or do you get to a point where you just say no to everything? Like, is that ever crossed your mind? Because that would be equal across all, and nobody would be jealous. Oh, well, you talked to Bob or you talked to Jenny.
No, not necessarily. I feel like I sometimes will just like, on Instagram, you can have like a general inbox and a primary inbox, and then you also have all your requests as well. So like my primary is like my actual DIY influencer friends, and I would never shut that off because we help each other out in a lot of ways. And like, I feel like the biggest the biggest thing that helps you on Instagram is engaging with other accounts like yours. That helps your engagement. Like they will comment on your stuff when you post something, and you will comment on their stuff. And it's like a community of like, you help each other out. Even if it's the worst post you've ever had in your life,
Perfect.
they're going to help you out and try to get your post to do better. So like that community, I would always have that on. But the general, like I'll sometimes just switch over to that inbox and like just respond to a couple at the top. So it's kind of just luck of the draw sometimes. And then they also have subscriptions on Instagram now as well, to where you get like a star by your name, and you pay like a fee depending on whatever you decide the fee is. So I actually do have subscriptions as well. So like those people will have like a purple crown next to their name. And so like I'll always make sure I respond to them. And then we also like do things throughout the month. Like we have a craft night that we've done. And so like those are just other people that I will make sure I respond to too. And then ones that are in my request, there's actually some decently big accounts that are still in my request because I didn't happen to follow them back. And it just like gets overwhelming to where I'll just sometimes ignore the entire thing. I'm also a stay-at-home mom. So like the DMs are just something that really I feel guilty about not replying to. So I guess maybe there's just like, don't reply to any and then you don't feel bad anymore.
Right.
But as a stay-at-home mom, like I don't want to be on my phone all the time. And then she naps from obviously right now, like here to here, and then or in the morning from 11 to or 10 to noon, and then 3 to 5. And those are my 4 hours to get anything done. So I got to pick and choose where I want to spend that time, whether that's content creation, video editing, DMs, engaging with other accounts, actual DIYing. Like I still have tons of projects, remove the flooring in the back room, pull staples, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so like I don't have a lot of time. And so then everything else just falls short. So yeah, I just apparently just do not have enough time during the day to do all the things I want to do. And that's one of the, I mean, I love being a stay-at-home mom, but that's one of the trade-offs is that I just can't do all the things I want to do for my business as well, because that does require me not paying attention very much and being on my phone, which makes you feel like a lesser parent as well.
Right. The parenting comes first, right?
Yeah,
You set
yes, for sure.
just like you have project priorities, I suppose. You
Yep.
gotta have life priorities. So, right, we appreciate you taking time out of your 4 hours a day.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have plenty of staples I could be pulling right now.
Well. So the main message I wanted to get from that was she's not ignoring you. Okay.
I'm not ignoring anyone.
There's
On
just
purpose.
there is a point that people get after they've done something so well for a while that priorities start to shift.
Yeah.
In order for you, right, to create more content, you need the short amount of time that you have during each day focused on doing that content.
Mm-hmm.
So no, you're not, if she's not replying to you, you're not left out, or you're not being left out. If Joanna Gaines could be in her inbox right now and she's getting ignored as well. So there's no funny business going on. Let's call it that.
No,
Mitch, would you call it funny business?
I'm just doing the best I can. Just
Aren't we all?
treading water here.
Yeah. And that's I think we all are, but
I know I keep
sometimes-
thinking that one day it's just gonna get easier and that it's gonna be a little less stressful, or like we thought we'd move and I would finally feel like, oh, sigh of relief, and we're in our forever house, we can just breathe now. Or we'll get to this point with Sutton, she just needs her 1-year-old, or she can walk, or she can crawl, or she can do this, and then we'll just feel like it's easier. Never happens. I think that's
I'm guessing it doesn't get easier. The parenting thing, sadly.
no.
Mitch, does the parenting get any easier?
It has its different challenges. Whether it's 1 years old or 3 years old, it's a different set of challenges. So
Yeah.
I have twin boys. And
well,
they're
at least they
just-
have each other to entertain each other. I feel like right now I just feel like she's so bored all the time. Like,
Yeah, they're just wrecking balls and they just destroy everything. And so
are they 3?
but they'll be 3 in February.
Oh, nice. So terrible twos.
Yeah, pretty much. But a lot of fighting in our house. A lot of fighting,
right.
a lot of wrestling.
A lot of testosterone going on around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anywho, but I'm glad that you brought up challenges, Mitch, because it brings us to something that I wanted to make sure, and I want to make sure that I talk with everybody about, because I'm fully a believer in the best way to learn Spanish, go to Mexico, live in Mexico for 6 months. Best way to learn in the general world is by making mistakes and overcoming challenges. Has there been any times, I know you said you're just 1 year into this, like, oh my God, I can make money doing this. Crazy. Which is the awesome part about social media, right? So it's also a detriment of social media as well, because everything that you have in your life is not everything. I shouldn't say everything, but a lot of, you put yourself out there, right? The quirkiness, which is why I think a lot of people like your content, dancing around like let's just call it a village idiot, right? I do the same thing. You said you were seeing me dancing in a wedding video, not just 30 minutes ago. So let's first say that. What challenges, or have there been any mistakes that you've made that you've been like, shit, like what I just did was not great. But I know that now I'm gonna overcome this, go to the next step. And like, how has it helped shape what you do now versus maybe what you did before? Is there anything like that's in mind?
I was gonna say, I feel like you set me up for this question. Just did you see what? Yeah, you had to. I'm calling you out.
Set up. I like to ask everybody this.
So yes, just last week. I mean, I've had times before where I've like kind of said some stuff that I was probably embarrassed of, and it is hard when it's in front of so many people that you can do anything, and it's like, how many people just watched me do that? Like the embarrassing thing, like about me dancing or whatever, like that doesn't bother me obviously anymore, clearly. You just kind of live in oblivion, and if people are talking smack, you just hope you never hear it.
Who cares?
But last week, actually, last Monday, I had posted a reel that I was actually very proud of, and I had kind of everyone's gonna listen to this and just judge me. I had kind of purposely put in a sentence in there that I knew some people would probably get irritated by. And I didn't mean to like actually hurt anyone's feelings or like say anything to actually piss people off. I just figured it would be, you know, trolls. Trolls are everywhere. They're gonna call you out for anything. So I was like, I'm targeting those trolls that I know just are looking for something to fight about. So in this video, I had said that it was supposed to be an inspiring video, okay? So just keep that in mind. I said, we bought this house, it was a fixer-upper, we like doing the work, we wanna do the work, save a lot of money. Most people don't think like that. Most people are lazy.
Oh.
And I said, like, there are so many excuses to why you can't. You don't know how, money, time, resources, whatever, but I promise you that you can. You don't have to take my word for it. You can do it yourself, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, some people didn't really like that, and they got pretty ruthless. So I had posted kind of a controversial video before. It wasn't my own words. It was like a voiceover that someone had said, like, you just suck at being poor. It was actually like my highest viewed video ever.
That's
the
nice.
the gist was the same. It was like, you aren't born knowing how to do stuff. Everyone has to learn. There's no baby that knows how to do flat roofing. Like, you have to learn, sit on your toilet backwards for once and look how it works. Stuff like that.
True.
So I kind of expected it to be something similar to that. Like, you'd get some people that are like pissed off, but most people take it good or well. Well, it was kind of mostly bad. I mean, not mostly, but I would say like there was a lot of comments that were really pissed off at me and questioning who I am as a person, that I'm starting to show my true colors, that most people aren't lazy, most people are trying to get by. And It was actually, I didn't read a lot of the comments because I kind of was just, avoiding them, knowing that there was going to be a little bit of backlash. And then my sister had told me, she's like, they are getting pretty ruthless on there. I don't know if you kind of want to look at them. And so I did go through a few comments, and there was actually a 1.5 clip. Maybe I shouldn't say this. Maybe you might have to cut this out.
But hey, you don't need to say anything if you don't want to.
There was a 2.5 clip of Sutton not in her car seat. We were looking for deer on like by our house. So I was holding her, not in the driver's seat, but next to Max. And so people were kind of like getting fueled off each other. Like they just started to like read other comments. The bad comments were coming to the top of the page. Like Instagram has a way of just like liking drama pretty much. And they like controversy. They like when people are like arguing and fighting and bickering. So the bad comments were showing up at the top, and then people were pretty much like reading them and getting more pissed. And then they started to get, they added their comment, And then a few people had mentioned that they hoped that somebody who knew me personally would call CPS on me for not having Sutton in her car seat, that I'm too lazy to put her in her car seat, just all a range of hate on me. And so once I saw those comments, I ended up deleting the post, and a lot of people were really confused, and people are like, what the hell? Most people are lazy. Like, how could you even take offense to that? Like, you weren't calling any specific person lazy. It was just like a generalization that Americans are born. I mean, we are raised to be lazy. Like, we want the easy way out. We want the easy money. We want the easy whatever.
I mean, yeah.
And yeah, so I learned very quickly that I did not realize what to expect. Like, I felt like I had known that there would be some people that would be like annoyed, but not to that extent. And then actually on my story, so like, I'm pretty honest about content creation, and like, I post a lot of about me videos because I say like, those are really good ones to get followers, blah, blah, blah. This is my business. I'm not embarrassed to say I want followers. I feel like anyone who wants their page to do well wants followers. If you say you don't,
you're lying.
Yeah. And so I was like, yeah, do I really think most people are lazy? Maybe not most people, but I do think a lot of people are lazy. But I did that kind of on purpose to kind of start a controversial post. And then I was pretty much the devil for admitting that I had done that on purpose. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a hard, go ahead.
There's just so much to take from like what you just said. And people are probably going to take this the wrong way, right? But I don't care. The people are so offended online. And like when you said, so now we have the Twitter files, right? The Twitter files coming out over now Elon Musk owning Twitter, and now revealing all this stuff that was concealed or wasn't posted, or the Twitter execs were doing this or that or whatever, right? Trying to get social media to kind of how people say Fox is this party, CNN is this party, right? There's an agenda for everything. And so social media seems to kind of like run along that. And by having them able to take posts away or be able to lessen, right, when Donald Trump, and I don't care for the guy, I don't not care for the guy, but like Donald Trump posting things that were divisive on Twitter and just removing him from the platform, right? So they can make sure the picture's painted exactly how they want it versus freedom of speech type of thing. So it just like, and when you say then people were calling you lazy, but when you said people were lazy, it was a problem. And then now people calling you lazy back is not a problem. So if nobody's causing intentional harm to people, like physically or like emotionally, like your purpose is to make people feel like shit about themselves, why can't jokes be made anymore? So
yeah, I feel like a lot of people are like looking for a reason to be mad online. Like they scroll until they have like a reason to stop, and then they can like, I don't know. Fighting it seems to be like the biggest thing. And I feel like the social media platforms also push those things. So like I kind of had fallen into the trap of like, that's how you get people to engage, is by having people that love and people that hate. And then you get like double the engagement because you
Fair.
get both of them.
That is fair.
And it
But-
is a proven strategy. Like that post, if I would not have deleted it, it would have gone very viral.
Yeah.
But at what cost, obviously.
Right.
But it sucks to be right about that stuff. Like it sucks that like Instagram was pushing that, and because so many people were commenting on it, it was going to do it very well. So like, I don't know. Social media is a very weird place to be. Like I do truly enjoy it and I love it, but there are parts that just really suck about it. And making mistakes in front of 100 and some thousand people, that's one thing that really sucks about it. And I'm not necessarily like saying all those people were in the right for like attacking me, but I will admit that I probably should have not said that in intention to like stir things up a little bit.
Sure.
And it definitely was not my intention to hurt anyone, like truly hurt anyone. I thought that the generalization of that most people were lazy would not be taken so personally. And so that's just what sucks about it, is that people did take it so personally. And I just, as a person who's, I guess, different than that, I would not have expected it.
Yeah.
Is
And
that a
neither of you-
strategy
Oh,
out
sorry.
of the Andrew Tate playbook? Is that?
Oh, okay. Andrew Tate.
I don't
playbook.
know.
You familiar with Andrew Tate?
No,
Yeah, we
Okay,
don't have to go into
stay-
Andrew Tate, but
stay
he's a good
unfamiliar.
example of somebody that a lot of people hate and is very famous because of it.
yeah.
And
I
so
feel like
think-
that is like, you're not going to please everyone. And the second you accept that you won't, I feel like is when you tend to do really well. But it was
Yes.
not my intention to be like hated either. Like I understand I'm weird and like have a different personality or whatever, and that might not be for everyone. That is fine. I don't necessarily feel like I'm at the point where I'm okay with people hating me and thinking I'm a bad person, but I do know that works really well for some people. And that's how you get the most loyal followers too, is how if you really appeal to one specific crowd, I guess.
And I can attest, like I know Squid in real life. I worked with Max, I believe, for a couple of years at one of my prior professions. Like they're good people, like seriously. So
Thank you.
if anybody ends up listening to this, the handful of people that are here because of maybe the controversy that happened, and that's not even what, like I was hoping to get something from a while back, like in a renovation, if I'm gonna be honest.
Oh.
I know that the whole thing was going on because but it's fine. So that's what I was like,
It
no, I'm not
seemed
setting
as
you
if
up.
you were searching for a
No,
specific
I would have just asked. I
found.
would have brought that up and like there was some recent controversy. Like I'm pretty straight to the point. Mitch knows that I'm like that. So I'm hoping to find from people like where they found this hurdle that they made a mistake, because everybody makes mistakes. It's gonna happen. It's
Yeah.
inevitable. I've made numerous thousands of mistakes. And they all lead you right to the path that you end up taking in life, and then where you end up at the end. And to be honest, usually when you have people hate commenting on something that you post, they either somehow self-relate to what you just said. And I'm lazy a lot of the time. Like who cares? We're all lazy at points. So
That's what I thought. I'm lazy too.
exactly. So they either like they've put themselves in, right. Social media is all about relating to the content. So they've related that. They're like, oh my God, is she calling me out? Or they've heard someone call them lazy at some point. We've all been called lazy. Like Mitch is lazy. I'm lazy. You're lazy.
Yeah.
So no, that was not my intention, but I'm glad you brought it up. So, but other than that, so what did you
want
learn-
mistakes? I was gonna
so-
say, you want DIY mistakes now?
I don't know. I mean, we've filled some time now, haven't we? So tell us what this will do for your content posting moving forward, I suppose. Tell us what I guess you learned, or
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
I'm definitely not going to do things. I think if you want to do controversy, that is okay. Maybe not like for the future, I might do something more design controversy, not
Okay.
maybe people controversy.
Like people painting
Like-
painting walls green. Ew.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe painting the ceiling or the trim. or
Oh,
like
gross.
something like that.
Got
But
it.
definitely not like controversial in that way. And there's a few things that I still don't know how I'm going to proceed with what happened. Like the Sutton being brought into it definitely was uncomfortable for me and really scary as a parent. And so like, I also feel like it made me question if I should not have her on my page anymore. And she's such a big part of it too. Like people have seen me renovate that entire whole house pregnant and then had her in it. And then we moved on like to all these different houses together. And she's such a big part of it. Like they've seen her from the beginning. And so it's hard for me to like think about even removing her. But at the same time, like I don't want to ever put her at risk or anything. So I don't really know yet, maybe just less of her, but I feel like it's not true to myself to not have her in there at the same time. So I'm just really struggling with what to do still. But as far as the controversy goes, I got that down. I learned my lesson there.
Got it. Less of those.
Yeah.
Or more if you want to go viral, I suppose.
Yeah.
So it's up to you.
You just have to sacrifice your mental health a little bit.
We all do that on a day-to-day basis just by waking up in the morning, my friend. Anywho, Mitch, do you have anything else that you want to talk to Mrs. Squid about?
I selfishly took a lot of notes today, so I wanted to just thank you for all this wisdom that you dropped on us, first of all.
I don't know how much of it was actual wisdom, but you're
that's
welcome.
really good. It's very good.
When you watch this back, you'll see it.
I don't know if I'll be able to.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, just trust us.
Yeah, just tell me. Just tell
So
me.
what's next for
It's
you?
fine.
What are your goals? What are your aspirations? Where do you want to take this all someday?
Well, I have big goals for my page and for like my life, I suppose. I'm in a DIY group of women who are DIYers who have really big pages and stuff. And so I know like the potential of my page or of the platform itself. And so I have really big goals. Like I one day know that I will have 1 million followers, whether I'm 50 or whether it's next year, I don't know, but I do have really big goals in that aspect. And I know it's not just like a number thing, like followers or whatever,
Yeah.
bring them back up, but as just like a goal for myself that makes me know that I'm doing something right. I'm posting quality content, people are enjoying it, people are coming back. So as far as that goes, and then for our house, like we are very deep in renovations right now. Like this is the only together part of our house right now. Like we are completely renovating our kitchen. We're gonna have like a huge fireplace and we have just a bay of windows, huge island. We're getting custom cabinets made. So just like continue to renovate our house and make less DIY mistakes, take my time a little bit more. Everything doesn't need to be rushed. It has had to be in the past because we were on like time crunches and stuff. And now I just want to like take my time, like don't rush things, prep. I'm really bad at prep work. So like actually go and do those things that I need to do and then post quality content and get my YouTube page more consistent. I feel like that's where I could really do well. And Instagram and TikTok are so controlling over like what stuff they push. Like you can have the best post of your life that gets really good engagement and that you think does really well, and they just don't push it out because they don't want to, or there's something about it that's making them not push it out. And that part like is scary as a business person like that uses it for money is like that they have so much control over that. So I just want to put more focus onto YouTube and something that I can have more control over. I don't know. I know YouTube still has ways of pushing things out too, but it just seems more of a safer route to go where you have more consistent results, I suppose.
Yeah, normally see around similar amount of
views
and engagement by videos. Hopefully, stair stepping its way to heaven. But no, that's awesome. 1 million followers.
One day, come back
yeah.
to me. When I get 1 million, I'll come back on your podcast.
Let me set a 90-day reminder here.
I said maybe 50 at 50 years old.
50 days, 50-day reminder.
50 years
yeah, no, I hope you do, right? I mean, you barely have any time as it is. So glad that you got a virtual assistant. We've found that putting a team around you is so much more valuable than you trying to do all the work. Whereas I know that your world is a little different because DIY is literally do it yourself. Am I getting that right?
Yep.
So you do have to do like the physical labor and everything, but maybe you get a cameraman. I don't know. Which does Max do some of the cameraing situations?
Not any of the cameraing. He does a
None
lot
of the
of the labor.
Oh, okay. So we need to talk to DIY Max.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Does he have pages set up too?
No, he does not, but he just mentioned the other day that he might. So
Nice
not
way
a
to-
DIY page, more of he says he wants homesteading,
Oh, well, it's a good way to double your followers,
Yeah, there you go. Except for you
Um,
gotta find new ones,
Oh, that's true. I mean,
which is hard in the first place, but
yeah, he'll hit a different market. He'll
Yeah.
hit some of the men that are maybe they want to follow a guy versus a
Yeah,
woman DIY.
that is
I don't
true.
know. It
I mean,
exists these days.
My demographics are like 97% women.
Oh, there you go. She's
Yep.
got the market demographics. Anywho, no, I appreciate. I'm gonna wrap this up because I know that you have the little son.
I was gonna say she's probably gonna wake up any minute.
Yeah, that's what I'm figuring. I know you got something to get to. Mitch, I think you have a couple things to do. I know that I have got to go. So again, Squid, we appreciate you coming on. We hope to see you again. Maybe when 1 million's hit, we'll throw a little party with some balloons and Sutton will be turning 1.5.
But if I don't reply, don't take it personally.
We've got your business email and your address. Anywho, so I don't know about you guys, but it sounds like you do. I've got to go. And why is that, Mitch?
It's time to get shit done.
Time to get shit done. Appreciate you guys coming out. I'm your host, Greg Porcher. We'll be seeing you guys next time.
It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway. Hustle the overweight. That's why they follow me, huh? They think I know the way. Cause I took control of things. Ballin' the solo way. And if you pattern my trend, I make you my protege. Crossing that soldier race. Niggas don't know them days.